Okay, so this is my third attempt recording this. Voice memos and downloaded on my fucking old phone because I reset it. So we're recording today, and I don't want to show my face because I didn't plan on getting this personal yet with these. However, I have a script today that I finished up a little bit of, and it's very short, but I want to drop this alongside the little video I just put out, or at least a couple hours from now will be out, and I think it's a little entertaining. I think you should check it out. But little update on my personal life. I live in an apartment again, so that's cool. We're no longer out on the street living in a car. That shit's not cool, so I don't recommend. It's about 3 a.m. I drank a little too much caffeine because of the sodas I bought. I didn't realize they had that much caffeine, and I was trying to record some stuff earlier, and I did, and I was trying to upload some stuff, but my internet's being so slow. So I thought, well, I'll come out here and do this. And so yeah, and hopefully I can maybe play around with this video for the first time. And then at some point you will see my face because I want to record and interview people and like an interview series or whatever. But let's get into this. How to make a hip-hop beat is what the paper says. Example: track 1 kick, track 2 snare, track 3 hi-hat, track 4 melody, track 5 melody 2, track 6 open hi-hat, track 7 percussion, track 8 melody 3, track 9 second hi-hat, which is like a pretty general like structure or like list of sounds I throw together for what I think makes a song. I use less, and in fact the song I just put out, well, not the song I made, the shitty little beat I made on the video I put out, had less. It had like 6 tracks, and I didn't even open those up. I really did that pretty fast and raw, and like I wasn't splitting tracks apart. And I think if you watch that, you'll definitely get to see that, because that's definitely the truth. So right now where we're parked, we're parked in a parking lot that my apartment complex lets me park in. So we're just using this for a little bit, but my car can park here as long as I please, supposedly. So we got a dab pin we might hit. So we've been stoned all day. It's been my day off. But the very early days, the first couple tries at making a beat went poorly, and that's the truth. I was really enthusiastic, but I made a lot of shitty things. Like I still make bad beats now, but it's just got a little bit more, season to it. Like, it's shitty, but it's at least got some extra spice in some right places, and that's just barely what makes it just barely listenable. And even then, not even that. But like, you can like polish a turd, so, or you can try. And that's kind of how I've always viewed it. I don't like to call my music shit, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's great, but I make it, I enjoy it, I think it's fun, and I try to stand by it. I just have a car pulling into the parking lot right now, so that's upsetting. I hope they don't see me recording or talking like a crazy person, or see my phone and not like that. That wouldn't be cool. But a local fella I knew started making quality music of his own, and I remember I was kind of at odds because he obviously had like real education in music. I had the basic music classes you have through a couple of years of elementary school, and then you're done, or 1st through 6th, but that was all it ever was. And so really all it ever was for me was enthusiasm. I wanted to do it. I wanted to make something, and so I really just I really hacked at it until I could like make something that sounded like music, and then you do it again, You do it again, you do it again. Until one day you're kind of realizing you're just doing this because you're bored, and around that time it turns into something more meaningful, in my opinion. But it's hard to get there. But I think I kind of, I think I arrived a little bit ago, a couple years ago, maybe. I don't know. Music's fun. I like being creative. But yeah, I remember like when I first started, I would have a really primitive beat with literally no more than 4 or 5 notes on a melody, and then the most basic drum loop. And like I remember once I played a really like one of my first 5 beats I ever tried making. Just so it wasn't even a beat, it was the music, you know? It was like barely keeping a beat. And I played it in front of some people at a fire at my buddy's house, and it was just like, you know, I didn't realize how sad or cringy it was, but it was. But it was really just me, just like trying to figure out the music thing. And I gotta say, shout out to some of my friends for being honest with me, because if their honesty wasn't there, I don't think I would have tried to make better music. And I think that's kind of helped me a lot with pretty much everything all around. Criticism's good when it comes from the right place. If it's just people being shitty, then it's truly not useful for the most part, I think. But in comparison, yeah, his, you know, at the time his were very like developed, and like they sounded professional. I was so jealous. It sounded so good. And so I was like, well, how can we get there? Because I knew I could get there, but he already had it, and I was just like, fuck. So yeah, and I never took a music class, so it always felt like it was impossible. And I would be willing to say I've come close, but I don't think I ever have matched his quality of music. But I feel like I've had a couple tracks now that, like, over the years, that I can look back on and say, well, I'm pretty proud of that. But it's tough. But yeah, the first month I started was in summer of 2019. It was probably like July or June, maybe May. And I remember it was just so early on. We were like stealing beats online. Well, we weren't stealing them. Well, yeah, we jacked them, we record on them, and we never put them up because we were just like, yeah, we need to buy them or make our own. And eventually we got to a point where we're like, well, we're not cut out for this. And I was like, well, yeah, but I really want to try this. Well, I was like, I'm not cut out to do this, but I really want to try it, you know? And my buddy's like, well, if you ever get good at making beats, pretty much I'll rap on your shit. And so like, that was cool. We only ever made one song together, and that was cool. But so we stopped taking beats and shit. And it was so early on that I go to my buddy's house with my computer there, and I would just start throwing together notes and shit, just the most basic shit on Fruity Loops. And then I took it to my house. And then after I got my dually, I was on probation for like a year and a half, because I was fucking around. Then I got clean, but like all that. Anyways, when I was getting clean, I was really grinding out that music. I put out my the mixtape Garbage Fire. That was my first one. I had some real practice before that, so there's some tracks on that aren't totally shit. You know, I was drinking coffee and just using nicotine. I wish I did a little bit less, but I used that to work a lot. It was cool. And I put out, I made a lot of music that I stand by, and then I don't. And then I wish I could kind of pull up again and use, but that's why it's a beautiful thing about it. I have tagged all of those so I know they're mine and people can know, and I think that's important. But I think it's important to also keep creating, and that's what I want to do, because obviously I'm nowhere near where I want to be, or I wouldn't be doing this. So, but that's not to put this down. I do want to do this. I'm not quite sure how I should approach it yet, and I surely didn't want to get this personal, but here we have a video. car just drove by in front of the camera. Unfortunately, it's not high enough for you to see it. I guess that's maybe a good thing. But I learned through lots of trial and error. Keeping sound constant, yeah. I like keeping a beat full, I always like to say. Like, you really have to get good at, like, if you're gonna make, like, choppy melodies, you gotta really make sure all of it flows. And I'm not even great at that, but it just definitely takes time and work. I've worked on a beat anywhere from 10 minutes to, like, no shit, 3 hours to 4 hours. And, like, sometimes it's a short, like, sometimes if you want to get lazy, and this isn't how good music's made, but sometimes if you just want to pull out a beat and you're stuck, sometimes you just stretch out notes so you can make it sound developed or full, and then you can kind of just pawn it off as a full song, as I like to say. But I mean, I don't know, maybe I got that from someone else. But yeah, that's how I do it. When I get real lazy, I don't do that as much anymore, but I used to, for sure. And this applies to a pod too. I learned that with the first couple EPs, like I throw that my music on in the background with that little, like, equalizer thing, that, like, edit, and I think it sounds interesting. It sounds cool, but, like, it serves a purpose. So I don't know, and I probably will try that again with something else. And I don't know if I'll do that with this video. We'll probably do that, but I'm just not entirely sure yet. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, it's 3 a.m. Definitely drink too much caffeine. I'm really upset I did that. So excited to sleep. But yeah, I'm sorry. I've produced all of my music from scratch. That's true. Every melody and drum loop. Yeah, I don't believe I make bad music. I just don't think it's necessarily good. And I think we have a long ways to go with not just music, but creative endeavors all around. And networking for sure. But snobs are something I dislike more than I thought I did, and I always thought I kind of was, but I need to work on being a humble dude if I get creative, even more creative than I have, and I think I have. And if you don't know, you should go check out my other volumes, and then that'll take you to my other pieces. That'd be cool, or pieces of music. Maybe I'll put that in the description below, but go to volume 3 and you can pull that up on my channel. But I do stand by my effort. It was all fun. It will continue to be fun and hopefully maybe profitable someday. So, and I do think anyone that wants to make music should totally do it, because it's totally worth it. And if you can't get into it, then honestly, I feel bad for you, because it's a lot of fun. But to be honest, I'm just desperate, and I always wanted to put my name on something. I want to be on some credits that are worthwhile. Someone can see my name and say, "Oh, good for him," and then I want to get something financially out of that, which is cool. And also, it's like not last but not least, like, it's not just that, but it's also leaving something behind, like a legacy. Not as much as, like, I guess you could say that, but like just a part of you, so you're not just forgotten. You can show humanity you've done something too. But go watch the video I just dropped. Get a good sleep and have a good night, folks.